You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.
Hello everyone, Hare Krishna, this is Gangadas, your host, and today we are very, very fortunate. It's really hot in Mayapur, it's almost 38 degrees. That's not a problem, but humidity is 98%, which make you sweat. I took 5 baths today, I don't know about you. But today we're very fortunate to have with us Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu, who joined in 1974, disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He's a pioneer in doing book distribution in Chicago and in different places in the world. Inspiring personality, very happy. And the symptom of Krishna Consciousness to be happy, Srila Prabhupada say. So Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu, your background is electrical engineering. And tell us a little bit about when you joined in 1974 and about your experience being temple president, a book distributor first, because you were a book distributor.
Yeah, everybody was a book distributor in those days.
Yes.
That was the service to please Prabhupada.
Josh.
That's the perfection of life.
Absolutely.
Is to hear Prabhupada say, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So everybody was working, at least I was working toward that goal. I wanted to do something that Prabhupada would personally write some letter or something. You know, we had a devotee, Char Deshna in Atlanta, and he was the first devotee to sell 200 big books in one day.
Whoa, that's a lot of books.
So that's nothing nowadays, right?
No.
People do that one person. Back then, that was extraordinary.
That by one, not 200 in one shot.
No.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is, people don't want them. You have to really... Anyway, Prabhupada wrote him a letter. That's how extraordinary it was. And thanking him. So everybody got, oh, wow. I got to get me one of those letters.
Recognition.
So the next year, I think people did maybe 350, something like that, but no letter. I think you had to do 1,000, then you would get one. 200 was okay. But you had to really go extraordinary. So anyway, I joined, like I say, 1974, but I got my first contact with Krishna Consciousness in 1971. I was 16 years old.
Wow.
Living in a little small town, Gary, Indiana. I don't know if people know about that.
I don't know what it is.
That's where the Jackson 5 came from.
Oh, amazing.
We used to pay, before they were famous, we would pay 25 cents to see them perform in the schools.
Wow.
They weren't famous yet, so. Anyways.
In which state is it?
That's in Indiana, which is, it's practically Chicago. They call it Chicago because it's so close, the metropolitan Chicago area.
I see.
But my brother and I, we grew up, I think like most people I would dare say, that you always questioning, who am I?
Yes.
Why am I born like this? Why do I have to die? All these questions, and we always wanted answers. But you know, who has answers?
You tried the church?
Yeah, my mother was a Christian, so she would force us to go to church.
Every Sunday?
Almost until we learned how to escape. We would hide. Because I remember I would go and I asked, why am I born like this? Nobody knows. Why nobody knows? Why is God hiding from us? Don't ask those questions. Anything, they had no answers. Something, why should I, what is the point in this? I don't know anything.
Absolutely.
So I just stopped going. My mother would be looking for us. We're hiding under the bed. She came, come on, you got to go to church. Come on. Hey, kids. Till we got old enough, she quit chasing after us. So,
but that's a sign of intelligence from very childhood to ask those questions. Many devotees, many people are intelligent, I should say. They will all ask themselves at one point in their life this existential question, like, doesn't make sense. The star, the moon, the people, the things happening around you. Must be a controller, supreme, something. Yeah. But nobody can answer those questions. That's left you always interested in knowing more.
The thing that really disturbed me the most about the Christianity at that time, now, of course, we're devotees, we understand it properly.
Sure.
They would say, God is going to send you to hell forever if you don't accept Jesus. And I remember saying to him, I didn't ask to be created in the first place. So I didn't ask to be created, and now he's going to send me to hell forever? Why didn't he just uncreate me? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't do that to someone. I'm going to punish you forever because you don't do what I say. It just seems so unfair. I was like, please, don't use that on me. So we even at that time, I don't know if you all know about that, the what do they call it? Nation of Islam, Black Muslims came out. So we went to one of their places to say, let's see if they have some answers. Scary.
No, even
it's all
worse.
Political. It's too political. Because back then, that's when America's going through this segregation and the blacks and the whites are fighting for equal rights and all these things. So they're preaching, why are you following the white man's religion? They use that religion to make you a slave. What is wrong with you black people?
Wow.
Yeah, Islam is from Africa, and you are black, so you should be Muslim. And my brother and I was sitting there, how do we get the heck out of here? This is too crazy, man. So anyway, that didn't work out. And I had no exposure to, yoga, any of those things.
Yeah, at the time there was not much of.
Well, I'm in a small town too. Maybe if I was in Chicago, but where I live, it's just a little small town. We go hunting, fishing, things like that. And I didn't even know about vegetarian. So, but I still remember the day I'm sitting on the roof of our house. My brother and I would sit and look at the stars sometimes. I mean, you could just look and go, wow, where does it end? Why is it all here? Why can't we know? I remember just asking, why can't we know? I want to know the answer. And at that time, he had graduated from high school and he was going to a university in Chicago. So he would take this train up there to Chicago, maybe take 90 minutes or so. And he came across the Harinam party.
Oh.
And that's probably 1971. So they didn't have a temple yet. They didn't have a temple yet in Chicago. They were just starting with an apartment. But they were going to Harinam.
Nice.
And I can only imagine, but he saw them and he bought a Back to Godhead magazine.
Wow.
Which is, first time you see devotees, it's got to be a shock.
Yeah.
But
People
at least he was
some other planet.
broad-minded enough that he brought home that Back to Godhead magazine. And I remember he comes in my room and he's excited. And he said to me, you won't believe it. Read this.
I found the answer.
And I read that Back to Godhead, everything, this is God looks like, you're not the body, your karma, everything just so happened to be explained in that magazine. And I was like, wow, this is it. This is it.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It was perfect. Like I woke up, I'll never forget that you awoke. And I said, listen, I see they have other books. You got to get more books. Go get some more books. And he came back with Bhagavad Gita, which he bought in the bookstore because they were still selling Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita in the bookstores in those days.
Right.
The Macmillan Gita.
Right.
And I did the best I could reading it. I mean, it was, I couldn't print Arjuna, all these things. I just skip over it. Yeah. Even Hare Krishna. I didn't know you're supposed to chant Hare Krishna because I just, whatever. And just keep going.
Let's get the essence of this book.
Yeah, and then, the first chapter, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. What is all this? I just kept going.
What's going on?
Kept going. And when I was finished, I was, oh, man, this is it. And I told my brother, I said, we have to do this. He's like, I'm not doing it. But he agreed with the philosophy, but he's like, I'm not going to do those things. I said, come on, let's do it. So I told my mother, I said, okay, I'm not eating meat anymore.
Wow.
And she was like, what? Are you crazy? And I started preaching to her, and then not the body, blah, 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 blah. I said, no.
Jesus said we can eat
meat.
He
said, if you don't eat meat, you're going to die. Oh. That was a philosophy. You have to have protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she took me to the doctor even. And the doctor is giving me a whole lecture, the food groups and this and that. And I said, I don't care. I can die. I am not going to eat meat anymore. This is it. So she took me home. She says, okay, I'm not cooking any more vegetables. So not eating meat didn't last very long. But and by the time I was 17, so that's almost the next year or so, year and a half or so. Then I graduated from high school, and I was going to New York City to go to a music school. And
What instrument you were learning?
I used to play viola and piano. Yeah, like no viola is this one,
Yeah.
like the big giant violin.
Oh, giant violin.
Yeah, which is
And piano.
Yeah, but viola was the main instrument because of an orchestra. So, but I wanted to be a rock musician. But I didn't care about that. I wanted, music composition, these kind of things. But you read the book, so everything has changed. It's changed.
Yeah.
That drive you had to, what you were planning to do is gone because hey, you get to do something about this. You're not this body. You're gonna die. You need to go back to Godhead. So I get to the airport, and that's the first time I see devotees. They used to sell books in their dotis in those days, and I remember seeing the brahmachari, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's the man in the book." That's all I can remember. And I was in such awe. I couldn't speak. I was just awestruck. And I said, man, he's selling these books to the people. Wow, amazing. And so he comes up to me, and he sells me a Krishna book, the really big one. Yeah. And I think he must have been new because he was very nervous. I just remember that. He was so nervous. And he'd hand me the book, this and that. I go, okay. How much? $5. I give him $5. And he walked off.
He didn't preach to you.
I would have bought every book he had. I might have gone to the temple even. Because I couldn't say anything to him because I was in such awe. I was like, And so then, I had Krishna book, Bhagavad Gita, back to Godhead. And I go to New York and staying with my aunt. And I didn't even finish that semester in music school. I did about 3 weeks. Because I realized in the end, I can't compose music. I can't, it's the one thing to play instruments, but there's no songs coming out of me. I'm like, I'm going to be some poor musician? Sounds like I forget this, I dropped out of school early so that I could get the money back. If you drop out by a certain time, you get the money back. And then my aunt, same thing I'm trying to tell her, I'm going to be vegetarian, and they're giving me a hard time about it. So I got a job for a while because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I want to be a devotee. So I was working in a bank, that's a bank teller, Chase Manhattan Bank, right by Central Park, I remember that. And the temple, I looked at the address, and the temple is very far from where my aunt lived, maybe 2 hours by train. And I'm from a small town. I was scared of New York.
Yes, big city.
It was, oh man, that place was just, people are very aggressive, and I'm, shy. And I was like, I got to go to the temple. I got to see it at least one time. And I got the courage up to do it, And it's long journey, changing trains, and finally get to Henry Street. And I see Radha Govinda for the first time, the kirtan, and I'm just standing in the back in awe. And some devotees took me aside, talked to me. I almost joined then. I remember that.
Wow.
I almost did. But I don't know why I didn't. I wish I had. And then I had to go back, which was scary because it's late at night. And, New York subway.
It's dangerous.
I was scared to death. I'm like, God, what am I crazy going to this place? And I get back. Finally, I told my aunt, I said, I'm going back home because I think I'm going to just move into Chicago. I'm going to move into Temple closer to Chicago, I thought. And she said, you're going to quit that job? Are you crazy? It was a really good job. I was doing really good. They really liked me. How you can make so much money? You go to the banking system. I said, I just want to be a Hare Krishna. That's what I want. Are you crazy? You join some cult? And they were just, So I get back to Gary, Indiana. My uncle was a principal of the high school there. My mother was a teacher. And, we were close because we would go hunting, fishing all the time. And I had stopped hunting, I remember. And he was just so distraught. Why? And I was trying to preach. I said, you shouldn't kill animals. You shouldn't. Well, why? I mean, you can just come with us at least. You don't even have to hunt, I was like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And I said, listen, read this book. And then, you can ask some questions afterwards because I can't explain it well enough. And he read the Bhagavad Gita. And later on, he told me, he goes, everything it says in that book is true, but I'm not going to do it. I can accept that, but don't tell me it's not true. You know, that was honest, and he had to recognize that this makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
And then he tried to convince the rest of them to leave me alone, actually, matter of fact, because he was the older brother of them. So my mother's like, okay, you can be Hare Krishna, but you're going to have to finish school. I don't care. You're getting a university degree, and that's it. I don't care. So she made me apply for something to, no stupid music, get something you can make some money on. So I said, okay, let me do industrial engineering because math was pretty good for me. And I thought, they're not going to accept me. And I got accepted in Purdue University. So I was like, man. But it's a good thing I applied late because the dormitories were full. I said, well, I got accepted, but there's no place to stay. So I'm getting you an apartment in a small college town. And I was like so disappointed. Oh, God, okay, fine, whatever. And I go down there, and I'm in the apartment. I'm going to school for a little bit. But, this is university freshman. I've got an apartment every night. Somebody's knocking on my door. Party! 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 And I didn't say no to anything. I mean, it was crazy. It was like Krishna just flushed out. Okay, you want some sense gratification?
Yeah, here it is.
Unlimited, anything, everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
Willing. These people, people have been living in their homes and now they're freshmen away from the house. They go crazy. And at one point, I was so burnt out. I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to answer the door anymore. I don't want anybody coming over here. And I just want to be a devotee. I had this girlfriend. I was trying to convince her, come on, you come with me. I said, I'm not going there. No, I'm not going to do it. I said, I'm going. So if you don't go, you're never going to see me again. This is going to be it. She's like, I'm not going. I don't care. So I called the temple on the phone. Chicago. I looked Chicago and I said, I want to be a devotee. What do you have to do? And the devotee said, come to the temple. I said, okay. And he hangs the phone up.
He doesn't ask you contact, nothing.
Nobody preached in those days. But to me, that answer, what I was looking for, meant moving to the temple. That's what I got out of it. Moving to the temple. I go, that's it. I'm moving in the temple. So Thanksgiving break, my brother came down. I said, hey, you take me to this address. I'm moving in the temple. He goes, I'm not going to do that. Mom said you have to finish school. But I had all these instruments, bass guitar, all these things, because, I was trying to be a musician. I said, you take me to this address and you can have all my equipment.
Wow.
He goes, okay. Okay.
You say, okay.
Okay. Because he wasn't living at home anymore. So, so he drove me 200 miles to the Chicago temple in Evanston and drops me off at the front door of the temple. And I got my bags and I knock on the door and they bring me in. And I said, I called on the phone and said I want to be the devotee. And they said, come. So here I am. So they take me to the temple president, Sri Govinda. And he starts asking me questions. And,
why you want to join? What's your problem?
Okay. And he says, you don't really know anything, You need to visit for a while.
Sure you want to join?
I said, why didn't they tell me that on the telephone? I'm 200 miles away where I'm supposed to be. And now you tell me I need to visit. Because I really didn't. The way I read the books, I just skip over things. I couldn't, whatever I could comprehend. But from reading the books, I knew enough that you had to move in the temple if you want to be a devotee. So he said, okay, you can stay, but, you can't shave your head. So he had Bhaktivedanta, he's Rama Kelly, my good friend. He said, come get this boy. So, everybody's heavy in those days, You, come with me. Jesus Christ, who is this guy, He marches me straight to the kitchen. Didn't show me here's where you sleep, nothing. No, straight to the kitchen. You're going to wash those pots.
What?
I never seen pots that big before. I go, how the heck do you wash the thing? Because the sink is in those days, they didn't have proper sinks. You just wash it. You understand? I don't hear nothing from you. You wash those pots, and that's it. Oh, God. And when I was at home, I never had to wash dishes. My mother, she liked me somehow or another. She always said, you kids, the other brothers and sisters wash, but he can do something else. That's not fair. That's okay. She'd always cut me a break, And now I'm washing
the pot.
Oh man, I'm like, okay, I want to be a devotee, so I got to do it. Then finally, put you down. Here's where you sleep. I go, what the freaking? Where's the bed? There's no bed.
On the floor with a mat.
Not even a sleeping bag, no pillow,
Nothing.
And we're this is an old YMCA, so we're sleeping around the swimming pool on the ceramic hard floor.
Tough.
Evanston, yeah.
Did you sleep in the pool?
No, we slept around it because they had the Rath Yatra cart in the pool.
I slept in the pool.
You did. Oh man, I was like, all of a sudden, 3 o'clock in the morning. Get up, get up, get up.
What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, I just got in line with people, and I hear
Take a
people.
bath.
I hear people screaming up front. What the heck's going on up there? And because they're, in those days, artificial renunciation.
Yeah.
Hot water was Maya.
Oh, yeah, that's.
So they sawed off the hot water knobs.
Yeah. Only cold.
And this is November Chicago. It's cold.
It's very cold.
And I see devotees, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Jimmy, go, come on.
Go.
And he's like, your turn. I jump in.
Like hard.
And then, nobody had their own devotees. They had a whole system that you just take one off the line. And it wasn't cotton because, nobody went to India. So it was these nylon thing, polyester.
Mix.
Yeah, not even a mix. I mean, it was pure, right?
Pure poly.
And he showed me how to put the Brahmin underwear. I said, what the freak? I bought all this underwear. We don't use that. They threw it in the garbage. I said, gee, threw all my stuff in it. We don't use this. We don't use that. We don't use any of this stuff.
What an experience.
And, put the Brahmin underwear, go down to the temple room, and this, the kirtan, Mangal Arti. So that was
so nice. Can repay off all this
doing,
crazy stuff.
I'm going to keep doing it. This is so nice, And then it showed me japa, and I'm sitting down to chant japa, and here comes Ramakeli. You coming with me to the kitchen?
Wash the pot again.
I said, no. I have to chant the japa. You don't worry about that japa. You're going to that kitchen. I'm like, oh, God. Wash those pots.
Again.
And then prasadam.
Wow.
I didn't like prasadam.
You don't like it?
I don't like
What? Who was the cook, man?
No, I was a demon. My mother, she cooked very simple. Salt and pepper, maybe pepper. Some boiled vegetables, maybe fried things, fried chicken, fried like that. So I went, turmeric, all these spices. I was like, oh my God, what the heck is this? I'm like, how you people eat this stuff? I would just eat the rice.
But what's too spicy?
No, I don't know. I wasn't accustomed to all those flavors.
Flavors.
But, before you eat, because the system then was, the new people, they serve prasadam.
Oh.
It wasn't like, nowadays, you want some more burfi?
The other way. You want some more?
Rice? No, heck no.
Serve everybody
serve.
first.
Yeah, because, it's a pecking order. Brahmins, first initiated, then the bhaktas in the line they join.
If there is any leftover,
And you went down that line serving, like that, Maha too.
Tough time.
Your maha was juice if you were the server. But I didn't care any because next time I ate, I was like, I don't like anything anyway. I don't care. I'll just serve,
You are in bliss.
Eventually, I started, liking halwa, and then I'm washing. All I did was wash pots all day, and I was a little mint. And I'm like, what are they doing? Oh, they're going on book distribution. I said, can I do that? No, you haven't been here long enough. I said, Jesus Christ.
So after how many months?
After
how many months you went in?
No, because somebody joined. Another guy joined.
Oh.
And I got bumped out.
No.
Whoever joined, they did the pots.
Did the
That's how they did it.
System.
Yeah, then I got to go to book distribution. So the first day I go out, the back to got it magazines downtown. And, hi, this is Krishna. Get that freak out of here. You freak, then spit it on. Yeah, you just that. Why? Yeah, I got stupid.
Get some job.
Call. Man, these people, why don't they want to listen? Look, this is such a beautiful magazine. To me, I used to, when I was in university, I put that Krishna book up. Yeah. So people could see. I said, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, whatever. Pass me the marijuana.
Leave me alone.
And I tried to talk to them. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. It was so shocking to me. People don't want to hear it. So the devotee told me, say, hey, don't tell them we're about Krishna. They ain't going to listen. Just tell them we're feeding kids. I said, we're not feeding kids. Hey, it doesn't matter. You got to sell the book. So just tell them. I'm like, oh, man, it was so hard, So I couldn't sell very many, but I was thinking, I better figure out how to sell some books. They're going to put me back in the kitchen. So we were doing intersections. So then I came up with another method for my own. I just realized, okay, you just got to get heavy on people. You can't ask them anything. So the traffic lights, you get like 60 seconds or so.
Car stops.
Right, stop, red light, boom, boom, 60 seconds. And I could do 2-3 magazines in that 60 seconds. But the way I do it, I would just, the first car, if they didn't roll that window down, I'll beat the heck out of that window. Pop, 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 pop. I mean, annoying. And the guy, he rolled, crank window. You could see, he's going to scream at me, what the? And before he could say something, I throw that magazine in the back seat, just like, right through the window. Give a donation, hurry up. Come on. Hurry up. Did you see the light's about to turn green? Why are you taking so long? You're wasting my time. Come on. I just get over talking. He's like, what? He didn't know it because the cars are big. He can't get it, right? What's it all about? I said, you can read about it later. It's in the magazine. So he gave me a donation. And then the other cars, they're all waiting for you.
Pumping.
They're waiting. No, when you do that, then they're all if you don't get the first car to give, nobody gives.
Yeah.
So you have to get the first one or fake it. Like you don't let people see what's happening. You make it pretend like he gave something, and then they're waiting for you.
So they say they're gonna give me a magazine.
Yeah, people are like I hate to say it, like sheep. They just follow the other guy. So we could do 200 magazines a day like that. Wow. So then they're like, oh yeah, he's pretty good. Let him go on book distribution. Then they sent me to the airport once, and I was too shy for the airport. I was very aggressive. Those businessmen, they're like, oh man, they're brutal. They hit you with the briefcase on your knees, and then, workers on it screaming at, call freaking cult member, that, blah, blah. And I was like, so it hurt my feelings, I go, let me do the intersections. I can do that better than the airport. I'm too shy. I'm like, excuse me, sir, get the heck away from me.
I'm busy now.
And they didn't put me in the good part of the airport because they had like 3 terminals. So naturally, the devotees could really sell books. They would get the best spots. And they would stick me over in TWA by myself, which was dangerous because sometimes people come over and beat you up. So you always had to keep an eye out for somebody coming to attack you, So every now and then I do the airport, but mostly I was in intersections. And then because I worked in the bank, they made me the treasurer also. So I would get 2 days off instead of the 1 because I'd take 1 day and I would count all that money. So we had a pretty good system of a bag and a safe and how many books did you sell, put down the amount that they counted and put in each bag.
Because you were working in the bank, so the
I could. They didn't have those money machines, where you could just so I could my fingers. William Soga became president. He saw me counting money, go, he's a treasurer. So it doesn't take so long. You don't need 2 people now because I could do it by myself. Yeah. Another devotee was the bookkeeper. So that's how we had a system of a check. So the receipts from the devotees should match my deposit. They did have a machine for counting coins, so that helped.
Yeah, that one.
No, it was an electric machine. You just pour it in there, and you had to do it 2 or 3 times. I mean, bags of coins because we had a lot of people on the street.
But then you became also a temple president in the future after a few years.
Well, after that,
you were president in San Diego, Atlanta, New Vrindavan, which place?
Yeah, New Vrindavan, Philadelphia. But after Chicago, I went to West Africa.
Oh, really?
In 1980.
I see.
And I was with, Bhaktivedanta in Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria in the beginning, pretty much. They just had a house in Ghana. Brahmananda was still sannyasi in Lagos. He had deities installed. So I was there almost, between there and East Africa, about 3 years.
Wow.
Preaching. And that was enlivening preaching.
But Titirtha was a special personality.
Yeah, but in those days, it was, the movement was still coming off that serious mood. So it wasn't like a lot of fun and games, hanging out. Hey, let's go have some fun. We were, getting things done.
Yes.
People asked me, can you tell me some pastimes about the Tirtha? As every pastime was all working. It wasn't like we were laughing and joking.
Yeah.
So. And then,
to get the job done.
Yeah, and then 83, that's when I went back to school. Because the movement was getting a little, it was like, they were still trying to figure it out. It was, Prabhupada left. They're trying to figure out the grooves. Everything was like, I understand why, because when Prabhupada was there, it was easy because everyone is going to follow him. With the exception, I would say, maybe the devotees who joined in the 60s. They didn't like the new ISKCON that we were just saying. We were really aggressive with books, putting on karmic clothes. They wanted more like a family atmosphere, in my opinion.
Sure.
And we weren't doing that anymore. Now it was like an army. So I joined when it was an army. You just go, yes, sir, no, sir. That was it. It wasn't no, hanging out, having fun, and all the ladies and men mixing at all. So 83, it was like, that's when I was like, man, that's enough of this. I went back to school and I, worked. And then by about 94, I get Krishna's arrangement. I moved to Atlanta and I got back into it.
Nice.
By the mercy of Japataka Maharaj.
Nice.
Who I didn't know, and yet he somehow or another came to me, which is shocking. Who am I? I'm a nobody. Not like I'm a big donor or something. But he would come to Atlanta, and he would go find devotees.
Nice.
You go, who's not coming to the temple? I'm going to their house. I'm like, I get a call one day from, you remember Mahaguda, right?
Yes.
Japataka Maharaj is coming to your house. Why? I didn't invite him. I feel embarrassed because I wasn't really, up to. And I go, that you just better be ready. He's coming. That's it. I don't care what you say. We're going to be there this time. Oh, God. I said, my wife's not here. We don't care. You have your footpath ready. You have this and that and that.
Nice.
And he came in and he was so sweet. He didn't preach. And he's just like, I just want to see you come take prasadam sometime and this and that. And then he would just always call me and engage me. And he really got me back into it again.
But you were also president in Atlanta for some time?
That was after. Then after I worked, I took an early retirement. That's a long story, but by Krishna's grace, 2008, I stopped working, and I was 52, so I didn't have my retirement money yet, but they gave me this big lump sum of money, and I used that to get an apartment in Mayapur for the future. And so, movement's still going through a lot of things, and New Vrindavan, of course, we know they were struggling with all those debts they had from the lawsuits and everything. And, the Nicho did his credit. I mean, he was holding it together. He was doing the best he could. I mean, they had like $600,000 a year they had to pay back every year. I don't know. And he was really, doing the best he could and trying to take care of his family and all these things. And so they thought, well, we need to try something different because, And I was talking to Maladi, some others. I thought, what the heck? I've never been. Let me see it. I mean, I can't make it any worse. And I get to meet some devotees, all these things. So
how long you were Temple president?
There 2 years, and it was, it was a struggle because I know Nietzsche did in my opinion, he wanted to complete it. You know what I mean? It's like they bring me there, and now all of a sudden, I get the glory. I can sympathize with him a bit, on that. But I wanted to do it like this. He wanted to do it like that. And it was a constant conflict. So I said, fine, do what Nietzsche did his way. He's from New Vrindavan. I'm not from New Vrindavan. So why should I come in here and enforce things on them? So they had 3 GBCs at that time. 3. They're trying everything to get in. And the big controversy at that time was getting the gas lease, which I forgot that devotee's name. He was very instrumental in arranging that money. And that was controversial because devotees were like, how can you rape the earth, taking the gas out and all these things? And he said, well, we got to pay these bills. And if we didn't agree to a lease, they were going to just go under the property and get it anyway.
Yes.
So you might as well get paid and pay off the debts. Now you can, go on with New Vrindavan. So I think I helped with that a little bit. I took sides with everybody wanted, and I do all the fighting.
So you learn a lot of things also.
Yeah, and then I left, and then I went back to Atlanta, and then Ravinder Swarup was, a lot of things were going on with him, and then he decided, okay, fine, I'm quitting. And nobody wanted to go there. So I talked with Anutama, and I go, I've been to Philadelphia before, and I liked the preaching atmosphere in that city. And I saw the potential there. They had a devotee, had a nice restaurant, which was famous. He called it, I think, Govinda's Fast Foods. He created what was called the Philly veggie steak. What do they call that sandwich? Anyway, in Philadelphia, they got this famous with these big giant.
Yeah, giant sandwich.
But he made it vegetarian.
Wow.
And it became, everybody in Philly knew him.
Wow.
Everybody. So in his place, so I saw that. I thought, okay, let me go there, try it out. And I stayed a couple of years, and I'm pushing the agenda, and I'm not good at politics, so that didn't last either. Which is fine. I felt the same way. Okay, they're from here. I'm not from here. But I get the place. There was nobody there. So practically speaking, I was doing all the artiques at one point. Because the Narendra Sublev, his disciples were pissed off. They're like, you do that to my guru? I'm leaving too. And I'm begging him. I said, at least give me a couple of weeks. I mean, come on. No, I don't care. They didn't. And so it was me and another devotee, and we would dress all those deities, Jagannath, big Jagannath, and these were Jagannath that devotees made, so they didn't have arms. I thought, Jagannath easy. But they don't have shoulders.
Yeah.
So all the jewelry it's cut. You can't just hang it on them because it falls off. It was trying to, I said, man, it takes longer to dress than them, Radha Krishna. So 2 of us would dress all those deities. And that one devotee would cook Raj Bhog while he's dressing the deities because there's nobody there. And I'm doing all the artiques, and I'm temple president. I remember I'm in front of the deities one day, and I'm, you have to manage your water drinking because you don't be running to the bathroom. You got to go on the altar. So I'm killing my health because I'm not drinking enough water. Right? And I'm praying to the deities. I said, you're going to kill me. You got to send some help. I came here to preach, I don't mind doing deity worship, but please send someone to help with the deity worship so that we can go out and make some devotees, distribute Prabhupada's books, and, do old-fashioned Hare Krishna temple.
Yeah.
So, I said, I'm going to keep doing this, and if I fall dead on the altar, I guess that's a blessing too. Right? And gradually, people start coming. I didn't have to do the deity. I got, things established. And then finally, the senior devotees are like, we can take it from here. We don't need you anymore.
But let me ask a question. Which place you feel like you make the most spiritual progress?
Well, spiritual progress is not...
I mean, you felt like a connection. You felt like you're serving the deity all the time, all the places. You're old.
All the places, because, the mood should be... Like I mentioned in the beginning, I just want Prabhupada to say, thank you, Sikhi Mahiti.
Yes.
That's the mood.
Please.
Whatever I have to do, and I always look at it, is this what Prabhupada would want me to do? Would he be happy with what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Is he going to, will he look at me with tears in his eyes? And I wanted to do such service. I mean, it had to be something extraordinary, but something where Prabhupada just felt like, thank you very much, Sikhi Mahiti. So, I'm always striving for that. Like that. So
it's good.
Before I went to New Vrindavan, actually, because when I retired, I was thinking, what am I going to do? I was, Atlanta was, the temple president, no temple president, and the person that was there, he wanted to do it. I go, let him do it then. I can go do something else. And but I didn't, I really know what can I. This is the first time I never had something in my heart that would say, you should do this for Prabhupada. And I couldn't get that feeling. I never had that before. I felt lost. I'm like, come on, Krishna, give me something here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, And then that's when, New Vrindavan came up, and I wasn't really enthusiastic about it because, New Vrindavan. I go, the devotees have a little, they're opinionated down there, right? Up there. So, but I thought, okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do anyway. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a dream I had. I thought this was interesting.
Yes.
I'm driving on the way up to New Vrindavan in my van. And I'm still, what should I do? I don't know what I should do. I'm going up here. And I was really tired. So I pull over in a rest stop to go to sleep. And, I have a big van, too. All these see in a van, laid out the seat. I'm really comfortable, right? And I lay down. And I go to sleep. And in my dream, I'm driving the van, pulling into the rest stop, and going to sleep again. It's like I'm dreaming in my dream.
Yeah, amazing.
I never forget. I was so tired. And then, in my dream, these little girls are running on my top of the roof of my car. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep here. Why are you running on my van? Please, what are you doing? And they jump down and they look at me and they say, well, what were you dreaming? And so I start telling them my dream. I said, well, I was dreaming of Radha, Vrindavan, Chandra, and Prabhupada. And we were talking about what should Sikhi Mahiti do? Because he doesn't know what to do. And all three of us going back and forth, I don't know, little details, this and that, on and on. And I'm saying some things kind of negative, because, New Vrindavan had a little reputation. Like, I really don't want to go there because, so many controversial things happen. And the deities, I think they're getting a little upset with me talking like that,
Yeah.
And Prabhupada is there, and he's just like, I don't know. I don't know. And then they asked me, Bhaktivedanta Swami says to me in a dream, well, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to go back to Godhead, really. That's all. He said, fine. You come to New Vrindavan and we'll kill you. I go, what? And I woke up.
Oh my God.
You're going to kill me. I couldn't believe it. I guess.
That's weird.
So, anyways, that, and then from Philly, Atlanta, and, helping out there because we have Vedasar is the president there now. He's been there almost 15 years, 17 years almost. So we had to do a co-president thing that seemed to work better, which means he does all the work and I can sit in Mayapur. So, and then I've been involved in preaching in China, which I really feel enthusiastic about.
Which place in China?
Different regions and places, be specific. So, I got some foreigner coming over there.
That's good.
But, that's I could see the need there because one thing I realize is, like in America, you have 600-700 Prabhupada disciples, right? Which really people kind of, they just take it for granted, really. But, coming to Mayapur and you meet people who never met Prabhupada disciples, kind of, to me, it was unsettling because I wasn't accustomed. Oh, you're Prabhupada's disciple? I go, yeah, I'm okay. That's nothing, me. Okay, whatever. Oh, but you can, I don't have any special powers, I'm struggling like you too. So, don't expect miracles from me, So these devotees I was getting involved with, and I could see how, that next generation is preaching to them, but they're missing that mood that like I had. So I realized I need to make one person in China have that mood that I want Prabhupada to say, thank you very much.
Nice.
And you do anything and everything for that. So I kind of caught one devotee who picked that up, and I can push that devotee like that, because that devotee could easily just live anywhere they want, but they're doing their big risky preaching.
Of course.
But their motivation is I got to make Prabhupada happy. That's what we're here for. We're not here just to chant Hare Krishna and be happy. I mean, It's really more deep than that. If you really want to get to the really nectar of it, you have to be like Prabhupada. He said, I'm just trying to please my Guru Maharaj. You kindly help me. He used to say that often, so that always stuck in my heart like that. So that's what Krishna Consciousness means to me is, make Prabhupada happy. How are you going to, I can't make Krishna happy. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But Prabhupada, I know. So
I'm sure
and
even
that should
if
go
you-
on for the next 10,000 years. That's what it has to. You have to, so many gurus going to come and go, but Prabhupada is always going to be there.
That's right.
And we have to keep passing that on through make sure everybody, next generation passes it to the next generation. Don't lose that. Otherwise, it'll fizzle out.
I'm sure you're a great inspiration for many devotees. And let me ask you, okay, now you are in Mayapur and you're full-time in Mayapur, right? Or most of the time? Most of the time.
I'm leaving in a few days back to Atlanta. So
Okay.
I've been here because I had brought my mother here
Okay.
to help her sister while she was leaving her body. And I was supposed to go back, but I did a few other things. I did, Bhakti Shastri, some other things.
Right.
So now I ran out of excuses. You're going to come back to Atlanta? No. I said, I need Bhakti Vaibhava. So...
But what's your plan, let's say, while you are in Mayapur, and what's your goal? What kind of service, or how you feel like we can help the community here in Mayapur? Because it's big, we get almost 10,000 devotees from all over the world. There is so much going on. So
yeah, remember, this is still pioneering work.
Of course.
So no one should be bewildered that, things maybe not be so smooth.
Of course.
But, this
Absolutely.
is only the second generation from Prabhupada. The third generation
We're
is
still
starting.
young. We're still young.
Yeah, so, we're going to keep trying. We're going to be, perfection doesn't mean everything is perfect. That's what people have to remember.
Material world is perfectly imperfect.
Right. So if you understand that, then, even despite that, still look at Krishna Consciousness expanding.
It's beautiful.
Despite us.
Yes.
That shows what is the essence. I think Krishna purposefully keeps it like that because for you to stay, you have to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, you can't stay. If you're not doing this for Krishna Prabhupada, why should I stay here? I can go home, chant Hare Krishna, live comfortably. But that's boring. Yeah. So, you need to have a purpose. That's what if you have a purpose, then you can tolerate so many things.
Sure.
But if idle mind is a devil's workshop. So if you just come just to chant Hare Krishna and try to be a Bhajan Nandi, you're going to have it's going to be different. Unless you're that advanced.
No, you're...
So even here, I think people while they're here, they should think like that, especially like the foreigners, the white elephants. That's inspiring to these local people.
Absolutely.
They come in, they see the tall, beautiful white person chanting. I want to be like that, man. They're chanting Hare Krishna. Why are they, doing all the Bollywood things instead?
Why they give up all their life and
Thank you. That makes them really... So
rethink.
Right. So, you can be the example for others while you're here even like that. So, anyways, for me, after taking care of my mother was the priority. Then I did Bhakti Shastri, which I wanted to do. Got to try to learn about these holy places because, in America, your preaching is, you're not the body. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, there's a God. No, there's not. Yes, there is. No. India is different preaching.
Yes.
You got to really quote some verses, Why is Krishna God? Why not Narayan? Why not... Jesus Christ, let me find the verse, So,
there's so much variety of philosophy and people and different mentality.
So it's an adjustment for, and then, really go to the holy places and experience them.
Absolutely.
Which is nice. So I did quite a bit of that, but, it seemed like there's unlimited of that. You've been here a long time, and you still probably feel like there's more places to go, right?
Sure, there is
or go
always.
A third time, fourth time.
I've been so many times, but still every time you go is a new experience because the pastimes of the Lord are so sweet.
Yeah.
And Sri Chaitanya Manovistan, if you keep this in mind, that Lord Chaitanya has a desire to give this love of God to everybody, and we're just instrumental.
Yeah, to me, I go into Samadhi sometime, and you just see the people, especially the ones who come for the first time, and they're just like, oh. I said, wow, that's powerful. Or they come into the Radha Madhava's temple room.
Some people cry.
Yeah, the perfect kirtan. You see people who probably would never dance. They just start dancing.
Yeah.
And they can't stop. It's so powerful. Mayapur. I can just sit there and just listen to kirtan and watch people all day. Perfect kirtan, perfect. Everything to me is, it's all perfect.
It's wonderful. Mayapur is a special place in the universe. In fact, we want to invite everybody, all the listeners, to come and visit us and spend some time in Mayapur because it's very special.
Yeah, to me, if you want to see, especially like, America, those places, you step out the temple, it's all Maya surrounding you. But you come here.
Wherever you go, it's Krishna's pastime.
Right, now you get to see, this is what the whole world can look like.
The Ganges.
All the shops, bead bags, conchals, this, that, deities.
It's all around Krishna.
Everything,
Krishna.
It's just, beautiful. Wow, this is what we're going to make the whole world like this. It's what we're striving for.
So how long you will be gone now, for example, when you will come back?
I would like to come in November. I don't know. I'm going to have knee surgery.
Okay.
And I don't know how long that takes. And then I have to... we got to cooperate. I got my GBC and everybody there. My wife is there. It can't just be, I don't care anybody says, I'm going to do what I want. You don't tell me what to do. No,
of course. You have to be responsible.
Yeah, let's see what,
Everybody.
I would like to come back and do Bhakti Vaibhava. When I did Bhakti Shastri, I was surprised by it. I didn't expect it to be like that. Because I said, I read the book 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, you already need to say, But then you go in
they
details.
show it to you in a different, I go, wow, that's pretty good. So Bhakti Vaibhava is Bhagavatam. Now I'll see Bhagavatam like that. So I want to do that. I like to keep, do them all if I can.
It's nice. That's
nice.
Nice.
But at least next one, Bhakti Vaibhava, that would be nice. All Prabhupada disciples, I tell them, I don't need Bhakti Shah. But I'm telling you, you're going to really enjoy it. Yes. You're going to enjoy it. They had a 5-week accelerated class, first time they did that. I don't think they'll do it again. That was too much. They did 4 months and 5 weeks. So we had 4 hours in the morning, take a break. Another 4 hours in the afternoon, all that work. Then I come back on Saturday, Sunday. Intense. It was intense, but it was sweet. It was intense, but it was sweet.
Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu, let me ask you a question. Out of all the different devotional things, there are 9 processes between this and that, what you like the most That's what I'm interested to know from you. I mean, there is kirtan, there is deity worship, there is so many service and so many things we can do for the Lord. But what do you really enjoy in doing?
I like kirtan for sure. That's, especially, dancing, but I can't dance anymore.
You're probably with the knee.
Yeah, I remember back in the
old.
Oh man, 74, man, what was it, 18, 19 years old?
You're jumping.
Man, and they would tell you can't dance like that. Yeah, the Swami step, right? So 3 or 4, we go in the back because they're looking at the deities.
Yeah.
And we do all the great hot foot. I cracked my leg in the temple at that time. And it was called hairline fracture. I know it had to come from kirtan because we would stomp so hard. We would, the instruments, they didn't play. Nobody knew how to really play. It's kind of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But it was like ecstatic. I've seen people break cartels sometimes, So, yeah, I like to, maybe I'll see after the knee surgery I can dance again. It'd be nice.
Sure.
Maybe not that bad, but, So,
nice.
Actually, you want to hear Prabhupada pastime about dancing?
Sure.
So, in those days, Prabhupada would, more or less, he created competition. Because it's a good way to get books sold, I think. So, he'd always go L.A., New York. And the other temples, whoever sold the most books.
Yes.
How can he say no? So you're always like, oh man, we got to beat Detroit. Oh, we got to beat this one. We got to, you're really just like, you really
competition.
Competition between them. Freaking Detroit. So, anyways, we won, and Prabhupada came to Chicago, and they brought Radha Damodar, Detroit, Toronto. First time they brought that many temples in one time for a huge initiation. I don't know, were you there? That huge and installed 6 sets of deities. There was so much going on. There was no room for the women to get initiated. They had to complain to Prabhupada. We didn't get initiated. He said, do it again tomorrow for the ladies.
Nice.
So anyways, everybody's competing. So Chicago won. So, one point Prabhupada's on the Vyasa-san, and he'd always clear the middle out so he can see Kishore Kishori.
Nice.
And all, Chicago always this side, Radha Damodar, Detroit, Toronto that side, little packets there, but and we're like, yeah, we defeated you guys. Radha's in Chicago, we're feeling proud. And we're, Swami step in, but you can't keep it in. You can't keep it in. So one devotee started a little bit, just a little bit hot footing like that, And Prabhupada, so, he's very grave actually, and he's looking and he sees over there. And he starts smiling a little bit, and he starts shaking his head. The Indian way.
Yeah.
So they think that means he likes it. He's trying to say no. And they're like, oh. So the devotees on the other side, they saw that. And they think, oh, Prabhupada like that? Watch this. So they start going a little more. Prabhupada looks over there at them, and the same thing, kind of, And then, it starts escalating. More crazy. And Prabhupada's going, and I used to be, I was the crazy dancer. I'm the one that's supposed to, when it comes to the really crazy thing, that's me. But I just come out of a cast, so I couldn't dance. I was lamenting actually. Oh man, this is my moment. And so Rama Kelly, he says, I got this. And he goes down the middle of the aisle where Prabhupada is in front of Krishna, and he's doing this twisting and up and down with his wah, 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 wah. And Prabhupada's like, no. And he finally stops the kirtan. And I remember he's doing, this is my memory. I heard other devotees tell this. Some tell that he was angry. I said, I don't remember that. I remember he was kind of laughing. He goes, you never see Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda dancing like this. And he's doing the twist on the Vyasa side. He goes like this. And he starts the kirtan back up.
So everybody
starts. Oh. I said, oh, Krishna saved me. That would have been me going up and down the middle there. And Rama Kid like, you got you, didn't you? Huh? Yeah, it's you dancing like that for Prabhupada. So.
Nice. Let me ask another question. There was any leader of devotees which was very inspirational to you in the old time? Like, no,
Well,
many,
the first
many.
one would have been, Tripurari Swami at that time when I joined, because, well, he was a brahmachari at that time when he took sannyas. But he was also I remember he was always serious, and you could see, and to me, he looked like pure devotee to me. I don't know if he was or not, but he was. And then he would dress the deities and go on book distribution. I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it, And, so that was, and so many devotees in there, Sri Govinda, Shloka, Shivaram, even, God Brothers, so many people in there.
Nice.
And of course, Bhaktivedanta, he was Ganesham at the time. He was always just peaceful, happy. To me, it's like I never saw him sleeping.
Very active.
I don't know why. Every time he was up. I never saw him. The whole time I've never seen him laying down asleep. And he was always like
smiling, happy.
Oh,
radiant,
yeah, very expert at dealing with devotees, and he was expert. He was really special. So Prabhupada liked him too. He got independent because of his BBT library preaching in Russia, especially. And Prabhupada told him to write to me personally, all the time. He had, he didn't really have somebody over him. So that helped, because when Prabhupada left, then they're like, you got to be under a GBC. So it was a little bit, but he kept his style going. So, now that preaching is everybody does it. Back then it was controversial,
Yes.
Put the outfits on and all these things he used to do. But I remember asking him once, I go, how do you get away with that? I know they get upset because, you're dressing like that. And he said, they can't say anything to me. Why? He says, I go full morning program. And they don't. So how are they going to say I'm in Maya? They can't say I'm in Maya.
So thank you so much, Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu, for coming today for this wonderful podcast. Is there any message you want to give to the audience who are listening around the world about radio, Mayapur radio, anything?
Well, overall, I somehow or another been speaking with a lot of groups and all, and I've been pushing this message again that we have to remember that, Krishna Consciousness means you want to make Prabhupada happy.
That's nice.
And then you want to find some purpose. It has to be a little bit material satisfying so that, I accomplished something and somebody recognizes it and you feel good about it. And if you have that, I find you don't have any difficulties. Even if there's difficulties present, because you have something you're trying to achieve and it's achievable, you'll be happy. And if you don't have that, then there's all kind of problems. This is wrong, that's wrong, what about this, what about that? So you have to find it, and you work with some devotees to help you do that. And we all should have mentors and devotees over us in this way. And, let it, like, I don't know if Prabhupada said it or Kirtananda, but it used to be work now, samadhi later.
Yes.
That's the key. So let us, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. And you come to Mayapur and get inspired by Mayapur, and then go back and try to expand this Krishna consciousness. That's our life.
Thank you so much once again. A great inspiration. I hope you have a nice journey back to USA, and you come back soon. We'll continue our, our service to Srila Prabhupada for pleasing him.
Jai Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanande.
Anga Prabhu ki.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
You're listening to Radio Mayapur with the best devotional, meditation, kirtan music, and inspirational podcast. This is Radio Mayapur.